The Kansas City Chiefs went through a number of changes over the offseason, shipping out players such as Alex Smith, Marcus Peters, Tamba Hali, Darrelle Revis, and Derrick Johnson, to name a few, while adding several players in free agency and 6 intriguing rookies in the draft. The newcomers to the Chiefs roster could wind up playing a significant role this season at just about every position on offense and defense, as the Chiefs added depth everywhere while bringing possible new starters at various positions. The preseason could ultimately determine what role some of the newcomers will play, and which of them wind up starting. Significant playing time could be up for grabs at safety, cornerback, and defensive tackle in particular, while the two biggest Chiefs additions of free agency, Sammy Watkins and Anthony Hitchens, will step right into starting spots. It's safe to say those two will play important roles as newcomers, but the rest of it is hard to tell, considering we won't know for sure what some of the rookies bring to the table until they get out on the practice field and start knocking heads. But that won't stop us anyway from making a guess and trying to determine which newcomers could wind up playing the most important roles for the Kansas City Chiefs this season. Have a look at the choices below. Golden was somewhat of an under-the-radar free agent signing for the Chiefs, but he could wind up playing an important role. There's room for improvement and a starting spot open at safety, and Golden had experience as a starter in Pittsburgh. But where he made his name with the Steelers is on special teams, where he was a standout performer and a special teams captain. That's something that always helps when trying to establish a spot on the roster. We're not sure how much time the second-round pick Speaks will get this year, considering the players in front of him, but there certainly could be an important role for him on defense. Andy Reid said Speaks will start out at outside linebacker and move down to the defensive line on third downs, both places where his depth could be a plus. And, of course, any help he can offer rushing the passer would be most welcome. The Chiefs have a good amount of running back depth at the moment after adding Damian Williams and Kerwin Williams in free agency. The guess is Damian Williams will be the one to help the most both at running back and on special teams. The depth either player could offer at running back would be important if Spencer Ware can't rebound all the way from the knee injury that ended his 2017 season. Hopefully Chad Henne won't play much this season, if at all. That would mean things are going well with Patrick Mahomes both in terms of health and performance, and that the team wouldn't need to call on Henne for help. In case something goes wrong with Mahomes, Henne is an experienced insurance policy that at least gives the Chiefs a fighting chance to win, and when he's not on the field he will provide mentorship for Mahomes, which he has years of experience in from his days in Jacksonville with Blake Bortles and Blaine Gabbert. It's a little tough to know what to expect from Emerson, who played well enough a few years ago to land a big contract extension by the Raiders but was out the door in Oakland after an injury-plagued 2017 season. He's healthy now and could wind up playing a significant role at cornerback if he returns to form. If he doesn't pan out, it wouldn't hurt the Chiefs much financially as he was only signed to a one-year deal, but it would also be one less piece to work with at a position where depth is already a question. One of these players will most likely start in the middle of the defensive line, and both will probably see plenty of playing time. Each of them can provide a nice boost stuffing the run. This could wind up being one of the most interesting position battles to watch come training camp. Watkins isn't higher on the list because he's at a position of good depth, so if something goes wrong with him the Chiefs' passing game should be able to get by and still be effective. If he stays healthy, which he's had problems with in the past, and turns out to be worth the heavy price tag the Chiefs paid, he'll be a vital part of the offense. Watkins has shown flashes over his career of the high level of talent that made him the 4 overall pick in the draft coming out of college, if the Chiefs are able to maximize that lookout. The 4th-round draft pick Watts is ranked here under the assumption he'll eventually start at free safety, although that's just a guess as to how things will go. There's certainly a spot up for grabs after the Chiefs released Ron Parker earlier in the offseason, and Watts, if he can adjust quickly to the NFL, could emerge to be as good of a candidate as any. He has 4 years of experience as a starter at Texas A. Pigeons will fill a big role on defense, replacing longtime starter Derrick Johnson. He stood out against the run last season, but will also be expected to stand out in coverage, an area he's received some criticism in the past. He'll also be expected to bring a tough-minded attitude, which is something the Chiefs were looking for this offseason after losing an 18-point lead in the wild-card playoff loss to Tennessee. Whether you love him or hate him, make no mistake about it, Marcus Peters is a huge loss for the Chiefs. They likely won't be able to replace his ability to create turnovers and will be hard-pressed to come up with another presence like his at cornerback. Much falls on the shoulders of Fuller, who heads into the season as the top corner. He emerged as one of the best slot corners in the NFL last season, so it's not like the Chiefs will be empty-handed here. But needless to say, given how new everything feels at cornerback, Fuller will be a vital piece to this team.